Welcome to my channel. My name is Viola Fair. Today I'm going to show you guys how I made a really neat thing from one of my favorite childhood movies, and it's still currently today one of my favorite movies. I'm going to show you a sewing tutorial of how I made the official Arendelle flag from the movie Frozen. What you'll need for this project is a little bit of felt, a needle and some thread. I had searched this part up and I had traced it, so there only will be a little bit of tracing for this project, but I only traced half. So you will use this for half of the flowers. And the last little bit will be a ruler. Now I'll tell you something. I myself have never been very good at math. My mom and my sister have always been a little bit more into that than I am. So my measurements I will show, but I will not say the correct thing necessarily. So I guess more it's to observe and see the length, but you can do this at any size you want. It just depends on how you want it to look, how big or how small or how wide. It all just depends. I put them both together since this will be on the left and this will be on the right for the flag. So this part is about 3 inches in width. Now my length will be very close to 12 here, as you can see. And my width will be about 3 inches wide. If it looks a little bit off with the measurements and stuff, I realized my corner here does not go straight up to a square. I must have angled the fabric by mistake when cutting it, as these pieces are remnants of this original piece here. Next thing I will do is I will lay these pieces on top of each other and I will pin them. So as you can see here, I pinned it, and you can see my big mistake right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it just a little bit along. And from what I can see, from measuring right here and over, it will be 1/2 inch. So I will cut off 1/2 inch from this whole side. So then both sides will be the same. It will just be that the edge here will be a little bit closer to the crocus, the lotus flower in the middle. So to create that tapestry effect, I took the ruler, and this is about 4 inches. So I did it from the corner till I reached the 4-inch mark. And then we cut it. And then we whip stitch. So to whip stitch, you will go around almost in a circle through the fabric. I have the windows open right now and the cat just decided to join me, so you're going to hear a little bit of noise from the siding. But to show you how to whip stitch, this is the easiest way I can set the phone up too. I will take this, and it's already through the fabric. I already went through. So what the thing is I'll do again is I will push through the fabric and pull up. So basically, you're going around through the fabric, like that, going around. It will be different than a running stitch, but it will be a little bit easier to open up. It will kind of lay a little bit flatter than a running stitch, in my opinion of how I did this. So once you have whip stitched everything together, you can unfold it, and it'll have a little bit of a poof, but it'll lay pretty flat, and that's what you want. So what you see that I've done here is I have used my little paper pattern and I've traced it out on here. So I'm going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to cut a little outside the black lines so it's a little bit thicker, considering this pattern is quite small and the little middle piece is quite thin. And my first attempt with this pattern, I had actually cut inside the line, and what I had done is I accidentally pulled the piece and it split apart right here in the middle. And you don't have to worry too much about the black line showing, the pen or marker, whatever you may use, because it will be flipped around the other way, since this is the darker fabric, this is the lighter fabric, and that is how it appears on this pattern here. So what I do is I pin one side first, and I stitch around the entire thing. It's a little bit time consuming, but it's worth it in the end, and if you prefer to rather glue it, you can. I prefer to sew it because I like to practice hand sewing, and it helps me get a little bit better also with it, and it stays flexible in my opinion. But yeah. Again, what I do here is I whip stitch as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get very, very close underneath this yellow felt and go very, very close to the yellow on the edge here. So it's very minimal stitching that is showing. So some stitches may look like this, some stitches may look a little bit more hidden. And it's okay to brace your mistakes then, because that's what makes it even more special. So after finishing sewing up this side, I will start working on this side right here now. So after stitching down the entire perimeter, you will start stitching up the middle. And how I did this was I whip stitched that as well. You can do it differently too, where you can just sew it down entirely and then put the next piece on, sew that all around entirely. I figured this was just the easier option that I found that I enjoyed doing. So after this, you're completely finished. So you have the choice of putting this on the wall and pinning it in place or taping it, or I can show how I have these little loops where you can hang it almost like a flag on a flagpole. So what I did here is I cut multiple strips of felt, and they are 2 inches long by 1/2 inch in width. And what these will be is that they will fold over and they will be sewn in the exact color thread to hide the color, hide the stitching that they will be placed on here. Say like I did yellow stitching here, on the back side I did black, which is fine because it wasn't really going to be seen unless you look very, very, very close. But anyways, these will be folded in half and they will be pinned behind this so that they will be correctly in order going across, and they won't be as wonky as mine when I first made it. As you can see, this little green one, when it's flattened, it's very out there, purple. It is a little bit shorter, so this one will be a little bit of a better test subject. So I've marked this out now, as you can see, and I went to about 1/2 inch until I went to the end. I kind of fibbed a little with that, but now I've pinned them all in place and I'm going to start sewing them on now. After whip stitching the loops on, you can add a backing piece if you feel comfortable doing so, or you can leave it that way and just have it up against the wall. But other than that, I took out one little loop I didn't like, and I believe it looks pretty dang good, I gotta say. Here it is, I put on a wooden dowel for right now, and that's how it will hang off of either a flagpole or wherever you want to hang it off of. And I think it looks pretty cool, and I'm glad I got to show you guys. I want to say thank you to everyone who decided to join me for this video and watch me actually make a project that I got to video on and put on YouTube. And that makes me actually really happy, because I've been wanting to do something like this for a while, and I couldn't find anything to really prop up my phone. I had something, but it disappeared for right now. But anyways, thank you everyone for watching and joining. Please like, share, subscribe, comment, whatever, if you enjoyed this video, and I will see you all soon, my little affairs. This is my little blooper, but my cat Ori decided to join and stare at the thread the entire time, and I just thought I'd share.